It's been a while since we've visited our Harbor Freight store to look for overlanding and off-roading gear. So it's time we pay our local store a visit, see what's new, see what's old, see what we can find. Of course, Harbor Freight is known for their tools. If you need to build yourself a toolkit, there's really not a cheaper place that you can go than your local Harbor Freight. Wrenches, ratchets, hammers, you name it, Harbor Freight probably has it. A very popular option is their winches. This is the winch that we have, the 12,000 pound. This is on our JL. It's been there for a long time. It's been heavily used and I can't recommend it highly enough. Regular price on this guy is $600, but very, very often you can find this on sale for much less. So keep an eye out for a sale. Harbor Freight does offer 0% interest if you get their credit card, which could be an affordable way of picking yourself up a really good quality winch. Now, I do recommend the synthetic rope. I think that's a better option. It's lighter weight. The clutch works really well on this guy. It's got a nice big beefy hook on it if you like big beefy hooks, and it comes with the fair lead and all the wiring that you need to hook it up. So looking for a winch? Badland winch, way to go. Again, it is available in the steel rope, although not something I prefer. I prefer the synthetic. But if you're doing a lot of recoveries, a lot of towing, if you're into the commercial side, a steel rope is probably the way to go. They have recovery straps, tow straps, all kinds of things for your recovery needs. They've got a good selection of other recovery tools. They've got replacement winch line, and they have kinetic ropes. This is something that's fairly new. So it's a double braided nylon kinetic rope. It's got a good rating on it. So if you are looking for a kinetic rope, which I think should be in everybody's recovery kit, this looks like it could be a very good one. Again, recovery snatch straps. I'm not into snatch straps. I either want to have a tow rope or a kinetic rope. The kinetic ropes will stretch up to 30%. The snatch straps, 20%. They also have recovery snatch straps that are bigger if you need something a little longer. But again, not a huge fan of snatch straps. I'd rather have a kinetic rope. Now, something you should have for sure is a shovel. They have this foldable utility shovel for pretty cheap. Again, I prefer a larger, more full size, but this thing is only $12.99. So kind of hard to go wrong with something that's that small. Great for campsites and cleaning out the fire pits. Should have some D-ring shackles. They have them in a number of different sizes and strengths. Their 18,000 pound workload is a good one to go with. I like soft shackles myself, and these are highly rated and only $40 regular price. Now I'm in the store, they're $30, so good deal on soft shackles. I always carry about 4 or 5 soft shackles so I can connect to just about anything. They're Badland gloves. These are new. I hadn't seen these before for $15. Look like some pretty nice ones. They call them winching gloves. I think these would protect your hands really well while doing recoveries. Snatch blocks. You should always have a couple snatch blocks handy. I carry 3 of them myself. This one looks like it's pretty nice. 24,000 pound working load capacity. So that's definitely going to get the job done for you. I think everybody should carry one of these. This is a D-ring shackle connected to a hitch pin thing, hitch block. I carry one of these because maybe not for recovering myself, but sometimes I need to pull someone else out and the only thing they have is a hitch receiver. I can pop that in there and pull them backwards. With Bagheera, our JT, I definitely keep one so I can be pulled backwards because I don't have good recovery points on that. Their Badlands off-road jacks, honestly, not a big fan. I think they're probably nice and all, but that is just simply way too big for me to be carrying around and lugging in the back of a vehicle. Just like I said, not for me. If I was doing, a lot of recoveries out there and I was just kind of dedicated to that, I would make the room for one. But for your day-to-day use, I'm not a fan of floor jacks out on a trail, no matter how off-road rated they are. Not my thing. I prefer a bottle jack. I think this is the way to go. This is going to give you plenty of lift. The 12-ton is probably going to be enough for most people. The 8-ton is most likely going to be the right size for just about every application. You could go up to a 12. Just make sure, look at the different sizes. The 8 is actually taller than the 12, and they do have adjustable tops on them. They're pretty affordable at $39-40, so pretty good price. Just make sure you get one that you can get into the right spots on your vehicle. Don't get one that's too big, that's not going to fit. So make sure you size that appropriately. Their Daytonas also pretty nice. They look pretty beefy. Either one of those is going to be a good deal. The Daytona brand is a bit more expensive than the Pittsburgh, but I think the Pittsburgh is going to do the job just fine. I don't really think you need to spend the money on the Daytona version. Their farm jack, high lift jack, for me, not something I carry anymore. Too big and bulky and heavy, dangerous in the wrong hands. A lot of people think you need one to change the tires on a lifted vehicle, but all you're doing is lifting the body. You're not lifting up from a good jack point. So for me, and I'm going to recommend this, don't buy it, but they have them. One thing you should pick up are valve cores. These are only $2.30 for a 4-pack. I have gone through dozens of these over the years, either myself or helping someone else who's having a leaky valve. You just pull it out, put a new one in, you're good to go. Very, very handy thing to have in your tool bag. And at that price, you can't go wrong. Definitely pick up a set of valve cores. And of course, they've got tire repair kits, really inexpensive, something you should definitely have, along with some glue treads for sidewall repair. These will plug the holes from a nail or screw or something like that. Very handy to have. Everybody should have a tire repair kit on them. For $7, don't miss out. And of course, they have a wide range of tire pressure gauges, analog, digital, whatever your kind of preference is, they have them at Harbor Freight. Product line that they have expanded over the years is their Road Shock LEDs. They've got just about every size and shape imaginable. These are their new ones. Really, really nice. They're supposed to be waterproof. $150. Really good deal when you compare that to like a Baja Designs LP6. Wide variety of light bars. These things are powerful. They got a nice light on them. Cube lights. These are like 3-inch, 4-inch cube lights for your cals, for backup lights, for fog lights, whatever your purpose, they have them. They even have rock lights. So just about anything you can imagine, they have now in their Road Shock lineup. I'm pretty impressed with these. There's some really, really good reviews online. Maybe I'll get a set at some point and do a review of them. But if you're looking for cheap lights, it's really hard to beat the Harbor Freight Road Shocks. They really deliver. But speaking of lights, these work lights are awesome. I keep one of these. They're rechargeable. They have a magnetic base. They can stick to most metal surfaces, except on Jeeps that have a lot of aluminum on them. But they do come in really, really handy. That top is bendable, and they have them from fairly inexpensive, around $29 up to $90 for their high-end Icon line. And these things are stupid bright. They really, really come in handy when you're trying to work on a vehicle on a trail. They've got floodlights. They've got all kinds of work lights here. Definitely go with rechargeable so you're not having to plug something in. But these really are indispensable and totally love them. Been using them for years. They also have things like lanterns. Kind of interesting, and these are bright. They're like 2,000 lumens, so they do put out a lot of power. I see they have like 3 different sizes of lanterns here. These 2 bronze, they both say they're 2,000 lumens, and they're just kind of different sizes. And then they have these little can ones, which as you pull them up, they light up, but those are not rechargeable. They take AAAs. Again, more work lights here. They've got these are great. They've got a magnetic base on them, so just pop them on somewhere, tighten them down, and adjust to whatever position you want. These are great for scene lights, camp lights, work lights, and these little guys, same thing. Nice and bright. They've got a flashlight feature, they've got the LED feature, they've got a hook on the back, and they're magnetic, and they're less than $2. They're only $1.79 a piece. No reason not to pick up a few of those. Now, they do have these headlights, and they're pretty bright. I gotta say, for me, they're a little on the bulky side. They've got like this like flashlight contraption on the end of them. They've got a flashing mode, 500 lumens, definitely great for campsites. They're pretty inexpensive in comparison. They're only $15 for that kind of light output. But for me, again, they're just a little on the bulky side. They have the 1400 lumen one, and of course, a wide variety of other flashlights. You can never have enough light at camp, but $15, really hard to pass these guys up. Now, for you campers, these are some pretty cool little lights. They've got rechargeables, they've got 12 volt, they've got rope lights, all kinds of different lights to just string around your campsite, give you some nice warm glow or a white glow, depending on your preference. 72-foot long solar rope light, very cool. So, want to light up your campsite? They've got the lights for you. Definitely something you should have with you are some knives. Kitchen knives, survival knives, camp knives. They have a wide variety of knives that are all at a pretty good price. This Gordon brand seems to be pretty good. I've read reviews. They say they hold their edge pretty nice, fairly inexpensive. They've got like this kitchen kit that has all kinds of stuff. It's got a knife, it's got a spork, like a flashlight, handful of other little doodads in it. This is probably make for a really good gift for the camper in your buying list. You can see it's got a bunch of different things with it. This could be a pretty nice little gift for somebody, or if you're just trying to get started and build a kit, not a bad way to get started. One of the first things that you should buy is a fire extinguisher. Should be in every single vehicle. Make sure you get the one that's listed for auto. The one that's listed for home is great for grease fires and things, but you want the auto one. It's the way to go. And as well, pick up a first aid kit. Their first aid kit's only $15. It's got some basics to it, but not really the best kit. I would try and go with something a little nicer. Rain slicks, definitely something I always keep with me because you just never know what the weather conditions are going to be. Harbor Freight has a huge selection of gloves, all kinds, leather, mechanics gloves, work gloves, cold weather gloves, you name it, they probably have it. I'm kind of a fan of these Hardys or rather just regular leather work gloves. They're all good, and these are all going to be around that $15, $16 price. Some of them, like these, are under $10, so no excuse not to have some good working gloves. When I was ground tenting, I always carried an extra tarp, whether it was to put on the ground to just kind of keep the tent clean, or whether it was going to be for like an emergency to throw on top and just keep extra rain off. They're not bad. These mesh tarps are really good for just throwing on the ground, just as you're going in and out of your vehicle or in and out of your tent, help keep some of the dirt out. The regular old blue tarps, can't go wrong with these guys. They're pretty cheap and they come in handy once in a while. I don't carry those, but I do carry the mesh ones because they just help keep the dirt from getting inside the vehicle. A really handy thing to have is a cheap moving blanket. They don't take up much space, and if you need to work on your vehicle, just throw it on the ground and get to work so you're not getting all dirty. I just think it's something I've always carried. Now I have some other things that work just as well that take up a little less space, but for many, many years, I always carried a moving blanket. Ratchet straps. They have a nice selection of ratchet straps, but when you're shopping, be sure and look at the working load. Some of them are going to be 200 pounds, some of them are going to be 400 pounds, some of them are going to be 1,200 pounds. Pick the ones that are right for your purpose. It's going to say right on it, these 500-pound ones are pretty good for only $12. That's going to take care of most situations. The 1,500-pounders, or when you really need to strap some heavy loads down, probably not what you're going to need for a camp situation. The 400-500-pound ones are probably going to be right in the ballpark, but they have a big selection of ratchet straps. Whatever size, whatever strength you need, they're going to have it. Another indispensable thing that you should always have with you is just a roll of paracord. Whether it's to strap something down, to strap a load down, to secure an awning or something. There are so many purposes where paracord comes in handy. They have these reflective ones for like $5 and the non-reflectives for $3. Just easy thing to have around. That's going to give you 50 feet of length, plenty to go around. You're rarely ever going to need a full 50 length. You're going to need 10, you're going to need 15. So just cut it to size and you've got a handful of uses out of one package. Another thing I always carry, jumper cables. You never know. It's rarely that I need them, but very often during the winter I get called out on a recovery. Their battery's dead, they've been trying to start their car, and I just need a good set of jumper cables. And they've got a wide selection of them, from these that are only $12 up to some pretty expensive ones that are kind of nice. They got nicer cases and stuff, but you really don't need to spend a lot of money on jumper cables. You just need a set that's going to work. Now, I've known they've carried gas cans and diesel cans for a long time, but I only recently found out they have metal jerry cans, and that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, they have that stupid eco-safe spout on them, I guess you could call it. You can easily replace that. These are fairly affordable at about $45 compared to going online. You're going to find jerry cans that are $80, $90, $100. These are some pretty cheap ones. I would just replace the spout with something better, and you can find that kind of stuff online pretty easily. If you're building out a trailer or a Gladiator or something like that, and you need 120 volt power, you're going to need an inverter. And these are fairly affordable, $150 for a 2000 watt, but be careful. Look, it says modified sine wave. You do not want a modified sine wave. That's going to have problems with some electronics. You want a pure sine wave, and this one's on sale right now for $220. That is a great deal for a 2000 watt inverter. 4,000 watt peak power, 2 AC outlets, going to do the job for you. I can't speak to their long-term reliability, never used them, but I have a 2,000 watt inverter in our JT, and it fits my bill just perfectly for boiling water or electric cooking or running different appliances. An inverter is a key item. The Harbor Freight has a selection of solar panels. This is their 200 watt for about $230. Not a bad deal for a foldable solar panel. This is going to recharge your power stations and things like that. Really good thing to have. I've always carried a foldable solar panel until recently, where I went to more of a rigid style solar panel that I can mount easier on top, and it's just permanently there. They definitely have those as well. They have these 100 watts that are pretty affordable, about $120. Good item to have if you're building out a rig. Something a lot of people don't think of is tire chocks. If you're doing recoveries, these can really come in handy for either anchoring your vehicle and keeping it from moving, or securing a vehicle that's in a bad situation and keeping it from moving. These are pretty affordable at about $7.50 a piece. Good thing to have. Pick up a pair of them and you're going to be good to go. I've carried the tire chocks almost every time I've gone out on a recovery, and I've had to use them a couple of times. Now, they have some hatches and mallets, as well as a nice shovel. I like that shovel. That's kind of about the size that I carry, a little more stiff. The hatchets, I've carried a hatchet for a long time. Not actually a fan of it, other than for just cutting limbs off of branches. But if you need to chop firewood, you're going to need something a little beefier. You're going to need to move up to a heavier, longer one. And for $27, their big axe, definitely going to put some power down, help you split those logs, keep your fire going. Now, of course, you're going to need something to put all this stuff in. They have these baskets. Those are kind of cool. They're stackable, not bad. The Bauer cases, pretty nice. Again, they're stackable. Got some nice latches on them. They're going to stay secure in the back of your rig. But they also have a wide selection of other ones. The Apache cases come in a wider variety of sizes. Again, these are pretty affordable. from about 29 bucks up to about 49 bucks, whatever size you're looking for. And these are going to be very good quality, weather sealed. They're not going to get dirt or dust or water in them, so they're going to protect your gear pretty good. For me, I don't really like a hard case for my tools. I like more of a soft case, but if you like the hard cases, the Bowers and the Apaches are definitely a great choice. I like the soft bags. I think they're just easier to move around. They've got a good selection. I like this large one. That's what I carry with all my standard recovery gear in. Zippered pockets, pockets on the outside for little tools that I use all the time. That's a great buy. The open top one, a lot of people use that, like this Hercules one. They've got a small one, and I carry one of these as well, and that's what I keep small items in, like soft shackles, D-shackles, and valve cores, things that are harder to find when they're in a big bag, but very convenient when they're in a small bag. Now, they do have this Predator line of power stations. Now, these are display units, so they don't work. I would say if you're looking at a power station, these prices can be attractive, but read the reviews, watch some reviews. I've seen some negative things about them that caused me some concern, like no matter what, they just turn off after a few hours. It's just a safety thing with no way to turn that off. I don't know if that's been changed recently, but absolutely do your homework before buying one of these power stations. That's my 2025 roundup of Harbor Freight off-roading and overlanding gear. If you have some favorites from there that I missed, please let me know in the comments below, and happy shopping at Harbor Freight.